All right. Let's start. It's a bit of a strange timing today, a different timing because we have a guest later during this episode, which is Graham from the Bitcoin.com team, and he tuned in all the way from Japan. So due to the time zone difference here, we're hosting today's spaces at noon UTC. So yeah, and I see Gonzalo is here, Andre is here, Pavel is here, and of course Graham from the Bitcoin.com team is also here. So yeah, let's get started. So we start with general project update, and then during the second half of this episode, we're going to talk about Bitcoin.com integration, which of course happened last month. They integrated Zano into their Bitcoin.com wallet that has over 50 million self-registered users. So very excited to talk about that later during this episode, to hear why they integrated us and what other exciting plans they have for the integration later on. But for now, let's start with the monthly project update. First thing I wanted to discuss was the Ethereum-Style signatures that we implemented during Hard Fork 5, which happened, I think, about maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago already. Anyway, mid-March. So yeah, Pavel, maybe you can explain a little bit more about the Ethereum-Style signatures. What are their use cases and applications? Also in relation to confidential layer and that kind of thing. Hello?
You're mute.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
We can hear you, but we cannot hear Pavel.
Okay. But my question, it came through, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, your question came through, but I think Pavel have a problem with the microphone.
Got it.
So...
Okay, no worries. Maybe in the meantime, Andre, you are also pretty up to date about it, right, or not?
I mean, the hard fork. I can update you on what was happening after the hard fork, which was kind of more entertaining. If you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah. Please explain. Then Pavel can fix his microphone in the meantime, and then we can get back on the Ethereum-Style signatures later on.
Some of our users probably noticed that we got some, we call it accident, a couple of weeks ago. What happened is actually we had a bug in a consensus, just a very trivial bug that lead to, there was a couple of problems actually, a bunch of problems that led to this accident, and with two bugs combined together, it created some trouble. So we were spending the night from Sunday to Monday by trying to fix the network and to fix everything so that none of the users will have troubles. That was quite painful for me and Val, and we had quite a stressful night. But luckily, we all got fixed before the network got into some real troubles, and we updated the backbone nodes, the main nodes of the networks, and we updated the exchanges, the pool operators, and then we updated the rest of the network. That's what happened. We also after this accident happened, we made some sort of post-mortem. So we made a full investigation of what sequence of events, sequence of problems triggered this accident. So we also made a few minor fixes after that, and we are because of these all things, we are planning to make serious refactoring of the transaction pool, the part of the core that called transaction pool. So we will be reviewing our approach and the way our core are handling alternative chain switching, and we probably will review and kind of redefine the way it handles alternative transaction and the role that transaction pool play in the consensus. We will make it. We'll try to fix it to avoid any potential problem in the future. Even if we have some issues in the future, we will try to avoid that sort of situation. So even if the network will have some issues, it will be handled better in the future. So that's long story short. And I'm pretty sure nobody wants to hear more details about what was happening that night. That's it.
Yeah, thank you, Andre. I can imagine you probably drank a lot of coffees that night.
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't even need to drink coffee because my heart rate was like dramatically high.
Now, I don't want to interrupt you, but I can.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can hear you. I'm explaining, guys, telling the story of Black Monday.
Yeah, I've been hearing you the whole time. I had a mic issue. I tried to figure out if it's back on. Please continue.
It's good now.
That was just end of the story. I was like, we were like so stressed, so we didn't need any coffee. Honestly, I can say that we saw such a terrible errors in the logs that we never had before. Like we were like for 1 hour or 2 hours, we were like wondering what's even happening. How could be this? How it's possible that some of the nodes getting into this kind of coma state? So yeah, that was quite a crazy night. But luckily, we quickly figured out what happened and managed to update network really quick. So it's was back on track. Basically, it was back on track at the morning time. I think around 5 p.m. we were getting network back on track with this stuff. That's it.
Yeah, that sounds rough, man. But I'm just glad that nothing major in the end happened. Nothing bad came from it. And now let's dive into the details of the hard fork. Because it activated the Ethereum-Style signatures. So, Pavel, can you, now that your mic is on, can you maybe explain us a little bit about what are they, what are the use case and applications, and so also in relation to the confidential layer project that is building on top of Zano?
Okay, well, that's not exactly a Pavel kind of question, because I'm the guy who just says, like, I want this thing done, and I'm not quite sure how exactly does it work. I can talk use cases and how we are going to apply it in our future development. But if you need to know, like, the hardcore math beneath it that allows it to function, that's...
No, not at all. I mean, this is like non-technical spaces, right? So I think people are just curious, like, what is it? What can you do with it? The use cases.
Okay. Well, generally, what we are trying to accomplish by allowing that kind of signature is to have access to more complex DeFi operations without trying to bridge it over to Zano, because there are basically two approaches. Either you can try to recreate the virtual machine within privacy blockchain, or you can try to use systems that build to execute those kinds of operations. And one of the first implementation we are aiming to have is wrapping assets on EVM networks. That's the confidential layer thing. But basically, wrapping operation is issuing or minting an ERC20 token, which is basically a smart contract call. So that's not the only application. We potentially could allow building a system that could call any kind of smart contract methods on any kind of EVM network, and that create a lot of use cases and possible application if you want to have a like privacy as your home network, but you might use some of the DeFi apps that being ran or developed within EVMs. So that's the goal, and confidential player is the first use case or example how that could be accomplished.
Yeah, great. Okay, thank you. So basically, it gives you more versatile options in relation to the confidential assets and also to the for bridging.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with confidential assets as such. This is just the way to call another blockchain and forward some arbitrary data to it. That would allow you to issue a wrapped asset like wrapped ERC20 token, but it doesn't have to be just that. And it's not like confidential asset related technology. This is just something else. We use it in combination with confidential assets to allow bridging, but those are like completely unrelated things.
Could you explain a little bit more about how will it look from for example, from the Ethereum side when someone is interacting with a smart contract via this way?
From the Ethereum side, it's pretty much like any externally owned address interacting with Ethereum. The way we preserve keys in confidential layer situation is quite unique, but generally from Ethereum perspective, it's just an externally owned address that is calling smart contract method. So nothing unusual about it. You cannot even tell that this is something related to privacy.
Yes, but do all users use the same address?
No, of course not. It's going to be an address, and the type of address depends on the type of bridge you use, because you can spin up your own personal bridge and use it to call whatever, or you can use one of the solutions developed by community or other project, and they'll have their own ways to handle bridging and custody and everything. We do not impose any limitations here. We want it to be an open source technology and people could use it the way they prefer.
That's cool.
So it's not going to be like a special Zana address to call the Ethereum contracts, because that would be, I don't want to say dumb, but not smart, because it's going to get blacklisted in no time. So it has to be decentralized, and it has to be owned and controlled by a distributed crowd.
Yeah, makes sense.
Cool. All right. Anyone else that wants to add something here on this topic? I think we pretty much covered it.
So, for example, if I wanted to use a lending contract like Aave, what will be the privacy benefit for me? So, say, for example, I got, Ethereum as a conventional asset, right? So, Brav Ethereum. Can I stake it through this method?
You can create wrap Ethereum on Zana if that's your starting point. The native asset of Ethereum, the way for you.
Sorry, not stake it, but lend it. So use it in a lending platform this way.
Yes, you can use Ethereum on Aave, but the way you're gonna we cannot issue Ethereum, obviously. We could only issue wrapped Ethereum. So this is going to be a certain version of wrapped Ethereum, and whether it's going to be supported by DeFi lending protocol or not, it's up to protocol. So I can't say exactly how this is going to work with Aave, but generally it works just the same way as any other ERC20 token would. So it's mostly about having a liquidity or some way to swap it to the assets supported by DeFi pool or lending protocol. But if you start off with Ethereum, the main application for you to be use your Ethereum the way you want it to use. And then if you need to lose the track, you wrap it on Zana, and you can send around wrapped Ethereum on Zana, or even trade it to wrap Bitcoin or Zana and then withdraw it. This is how you could lose the track of your public assets.
Interesting. Thanks.
All right. Thank you for explaining that, Pavel. Then we go to the next topic, which is the community member of the month. We always just do a quick shout out. It's Zanoshi Zanomoto this time. He's very active on Twitter, and not only that, because the guy launched a bunch of websites for the Zano ecosystem. I believe Zano Map is one of his websites, Zano News, Zano Links, even. And basically, they are like they collect, for example, Zano Map collects all kinds of businesses that accept Zano as a payment method, and it's growing fast. So I think he has like maybe 30 businesses on the map already there. So it's pretty cool. And Zano News basically is like it collects all the latest news updates and blog posts and articles, also by other people, third parties, and sorts them from based on the date they were released. So you have like a clear overview on everything going on in the Zano ecosystem. So that's very exciting. And Zano Links is like a collection of all kinds of websites for the Zano ecosystem. So tools, swaps, websites, things that have to do with exchanges, confidential assets, charts. Just a bunch of very informative stuff that you can find there. And this guy has never really asked us for anything in return. He's just like a very enthusiastic community member that has been actively contributing to the ecosystem. So we thank Zanoshi Zanomoto for his contributions. Yeah. Then also we have the ZanoX community, which we launched, I believe, maybe 2 months ago now, or like 6 weeks ago, and it's growing fast. It almost has 300 members, and we give away $100 in Zano every person that creates the best type of content for Zano. So it doesn't really matter what type of content, as long as you post it through the official Zano community, which you can find on our profile, by the way. If you go to x.com/Zano_project, then it will be pinned at the top. It says communities. There you can find it. And if you post through there, it can be a thread, a simple tweet, a video, or maybe an article, or anything really. You have a chance to win $100 in Zano weekly, and we do this to boost the number of content that is being created about Zano, and also, of course, to give something back to the community. So participate there and help spread the word about Zano. Zano also got listed on a new exchange this month, Ascendex. It's not too big of an exchange, but I was playing around with it a little bit a couple days ago, and I found out that there's also a way to buy crypto directly with your bank account there, and I suppose that you can then just swap it to Zano. So that is pretty convenient. So you can use it for that, and also doesn't have any know your customer whatsoever, up to 0.75 BTC a day. Which was also one of the main reasons why we decided to list there, to have yet another QIC-less exchange where you can trade bigger quantities of Zano if you want to do so. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Go check it out and play with it a little bit. Have you guys checked it out? Has anyone registered an account on Ascendex here, guys?
Well,
maybe
I
Gonzalo.
did. You asked me to.
Yes, I know you did. Yeah, of course we did for market making and stuff, and to add some orders on the book there so that people can trade. But has anyone here like tried themselves to trade there? What was your experience? Or did nobody do it? That's also an option.
No, not yet. But the ETHDam thing sounds really interesting. We may make a tutorial about it. I'll look into it.
Yeah, I believe maybe also ZanoList already created some video about it. I'm not too sure, but usually they're pretty quick with that kind of stuff. So, and it also gives our swap partners another exchange to pool liquidity from. So it just makes things easier and more distributed amongst all the exchanges. Oh, I see. I almost forgot about Obscura. That's an interesting one to talk about. So, Obscura was released in March, and Obscura is like a private NFT platform. I don't know an awful lot about it, but it's already operating, right? Has anyone tried it out here?
I did, yes, of course. I'm
Yep.
testing basically every project that is being released on Zana, and I'm in contact with most of the people who are being actively developing on Zana. So yeah, I did like a lot. So if
So
you want
you
to
can
know
already
anything,
mint and trade NFTs privately on Obscura right now.
well, you can mint them and you can send them around. There's no marketplace yet because the standard is yet to be established. This is just like a first attempt to make a privacy-focused NFT on Zana to find some footing and maybe get some feedback from the community. But if you're interested to know how exactly does it work, I'm the guy. I can explain.
Yeah, please do.
The way it works, it creates an asset, a confidential asset, and it could be sort of like, the NFT standards from the Ethereum. There are two basic types, ERC 721 and ERC 1155. One of them is the true NFT, which you can have like one token, which is unique and cannot be replicated. Another one is with the balances. And we could recreate the similar experience with confidential assets. You can create a custom asset with supply of one that would be an NFT, and you can have a certain balance that would be ERC 1155. So basically, you can have the same experience as you do on Ethereum, but without people knowing that you own a particular NFT, and you can send them around, you can trade them, and you can confirm the ownership of the NFT, which is something that is common. And this is the main use case for privacy NFTs. Because normally people associate NFTs with silly pictures, which is not the case for privacy NFT. The main use case is the fact that you can own something and you can prove the ownership, but other people do not know you. You can use it as login or authentication token, like, the access card. People don't know you have, but you do.
Yeah, so this is very powerful, right? So you can use this for all kinds of things like exclusive access to certain benefits on platforms or in-game assets, or maybe even like real-world assets, like that you own a part of, I don't know, real estate, for example.
Well, I'm not sure about the real estate, but if you need a digital ownership, like an access token to some website, and you don't want other people to know that you have that access, that's the best way. If you want to have your name on a property deed, that's probably not ideal because there's some way of knowing that this is you. With Obscura and privacy NFTs in general, you can still have complete privacy. Even with alias, we use alias as the main thing to like tell Zano ecosystem about yourself, but you're still giving away some metadata because you might use your nickname and someone knew that this is like your handle. So there's something. If it's an Obscura, privacy-focused NFT, no one ever knows that you're the owner of the thing, but you can use it to log in somewhere or prove something.
Yeah, that's really nice. And but Obscura, the website itself as it is now, is just for pictures, right? It's called obscura.art.
Well, you can say this is just for pictures because the pictures is just the way to create a nice looking UI for your token. It doesn't need to have picture. It's just easier to look it up among other assets because otherwise you'll have an endless list of no-name assets, which is not exactly convenient and doesn't have some like brand attribution to it. And yes, I guess it could be art, but that's not the main use case, I think, because artists generally want people to know who owns their stuff and how expensive it is, like the whole NFT thing. So there's some aspect to it about the art, but the way I see it, it's mostly about access to the places and the ownership of the things.
Right, right. Do you know if they are like also working on the marketplace here to trade these private NFTs?
That's definitely the plan.
Yeah, that would be very exciting. I think Gonzalo, maybe we should we definitely should look into this and maybe, I don't know, work with our graphic designers and create some kind of exclusive private NFT collection and maybe give some away or something to promote this.
Yeah, will be nice to have some for the community. I was just thinking about there is an airline over here in Argentina that lets you have your tickets, your plane tickets, as NFTs. So you can trade them around, sell it on the market. But this will be a good use case for private NFTs because I don't necessarily want people to know which flight tickets I have, right? So what's my schedule, and it's just good to have that info private. So with something like this, you could do just that, which is already happening, but by also protecting your information. So it makes sense.
Yeah, that's the great one, because you need to confirm that you're the one that owns it, but you don't want it to be on a public Ethereum address. Everyone can look up your travel history for years. That's not a smart thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It just makes a lot more sense to do it privately.
Yeah, that's cool. Is this like one of the first? I mean, I know it's one of the first private NFT platforms, but like, is it maybe even the first one? Like, NFTs have become pretty popular over the years, but maybe this opens. I mean, this does open a lot of new use cases for NFTs.
I don't think it's the first. Beam for sure had one, and there were a lot of attempts to do the privacy NFTs. This is the first one that is being built on Zana, and we'll have our own unique features. We're not opposed to supporting it, maybe even by default in the main Zana wallet.
Could you just an idea, but like in theory, could you bridge these NFTs to other chains as well?
Yeah, of course. I mean, this is the confidential asset, and whatever can be breached among other confidential assets applicable to Obscuras as well. The main difference between that and any other token is the metadata and some IPFS links with the image and stuff. That's not something unique to Obscura. Anyone can do their way. I mean, you can create your own standard for NFTs that is not Obscura. I mean, it's totally up to you.
Right. Cool. Very cool. Yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on this, see how this develops, because yeah, this is definitely very, very interesting to me. All right. Yeah, thank you for that. The only thing that I wanted to discuss before we move on to the most exciting part of this episode, which is the Bitcoin.com integration, of course, was mobile wallet. Because I know it's been in the works for a while, but it should be very close now that we have maybe mobile wallet with browser support. Do you guys have an update for us on that?
It shouldn't happen right now. Actually, we got the Anton, the mobile developer of our team here on the call. I don't know if he wants to like explain himself and how did he accomplish the thing, or if he wants, I could do it on his behalf. Let me just check with him really quick.
Yeah, that's cool. Is it the Enion155 guy?
Yeah, I think so.
Let me just check with him if he's comfortable with being on the space, because we did not know he was going to be around.
Of course, I will invite him to speak, and if he's comfortable with that, then he can accept.
Okay, I'll do it for him. But basically, you covered already most of it. One of the most exciting features that is coming to Zano Mobile Wallet is the browser support, because all of the apps you mentioned within Zano ecosystem, like Obscura, or maybe you mentioned Zano Trade before, ZanoDex, or even our messenger. In order to make it work, you need to download the desktop wallet, you need to sync it, you need to connect it with the Zano Companion, the browser extension, and then you can sort of get access to it. That's not going to be the case anymore. All of those things are going to be available from the mobile wallet with browser support, and that should simplify the life of an average user by a lot. I mean, you don't need to do any of the desktop stuff anymore, and it's all going to be compatible.
Yeah, that's very, very cool. So any dApp that works with Zano Companion can then also be accessed via the Zano mobile wallet, right? Because now, just for clarity for everyone else that's listening, Zano Companion is a browser extension, and it's only available on your desktop wallet for that reason.
Yeah, it's kind of like MetaMask, the thing we have in the browser. You can connect it to log in different websites, parts of the Zano ecosystem.
Yeah, nice. So the one thing that comes to mind is Zano Trade, that is now only accessible by desktop, but for from the moment on that we have the mobile wallet with browser support, then you can also access Zano Trade through the mobile wallet, right?
Yep. And bottom line, it's going live like now. I think within a couple of hours, even, because before the space we had a chat and guys were preparing the release build. So I don't know, like maybe a day or two for Google Play and iOS store to allow it to pass the review, and you could all see it for yourselves.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely keeping an eye out on the Play Store in my case for that.
Yeah, I'll post an update as soon as it goes live.
Great, thank you. Okay, all right. Well, I think internally and with monthly project update and stuff, we have discussed most of the things that are worthy to mention anyway. So that's great. And then now we can move on to the most exciting part of this episode, which is the Bitcoin.com integration. Graham, are you around? Are you here?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes, kind of. It's a bit. Is it just me, guys, or is
Be quiet. How about now?
No, it's. Could you try a different mic, perhaps?
That. How about now?
Oh yeah, that's a lot better.
Yeah. All right.
It sounds a bit like if we were on a normal phone call with you.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thanks. By the way, for accommodating my time zone here. I hope not too many people who normally would have been on the call missed it because of that. So appreciate that.
Not at all, man. It's totally fine. We always upload this to our YouTube channel as well afterwards, so people can always listen back to it whenever they want to. So that's fine. And yeah, thank you for hopping on, man. Thank you for making time. I'm personally very, very happy to see Zano in the Bitcoin.com wallet. For now, it's just Zano, but maybe later on also some other stuff that we can talk about later here. So maybe give us a quick introduction about Bitcoin.com wallet, what it is, and all the juicy stuff, and then we can get into the rest.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. So the Bitcoin.com wallet, it's a self-custody wallet app, a mobile wallet app. We have 61 million wallets created so far. It's a multi-chain wallet, so we support BTC, BCH, Ethereum, Avalanche, Polygon, BNB chain, and now Zano. And like Bitcoin.com, it's also a media company. So we've got like a news outlet with team members from all over the world. We're covering everything that matters in the Bitcoin and crypto space. And this is a big part of how we like draw in people to our ecosystem. So people find us in the news, they're reading news. Okay, you've got an app, and the news is in the app. So we're a media company and a self-custody wallet app. We get a lot of newcomers to Bitcoin. This is due to the nature of our domain. People who don't necessarily have that much information, they come to bitcoin.com and a lot of them are just looking to get their first Bitcoin. And but we also do have a lot of long-time users of the apps since we've been around for so long. So that's pretty much what we're all about.
Yeah, thank you. That's exciting, man. The numbers that you just gave, because I remember that about a year ago when we started our collaboration and we made plans to integrate and stuff, that Bitcoin.com had 50 million self-registered wallets, and then only like a month ago I found out it was already at 60 million, and now you're saying 61. So that's very impressive.
Yeah, we have a constant flow of people coming in through the app stores and via our website directly. It's a powerful domain, so a lot of new users.
Yeah, I think it's like maybe even like top 5 crypto news websites, right?
I think so. We've come a long way actually in the last year or two with the media side of the company. I would argue the quality of our news has gotten a lot better, and we've also branched out into video. We're doing a lot of interviews. I believe David interviewed Pavel a month or so ago. I enjoyed that interview, and so I think we're doing well on the media front. More and more people are seeming to like us, and not just newcomers. People who've been around for a while are starting to appreciate some of the news that we're putting out, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I also read quite often on Bitcoin.com news page, also like non Zano related stuff. So yeah, it's definitely looking good. And yeah, I mean, Bitcoin.com is a great partner to have for us, right? I mean, when you were talking about the blockchains that Bitcoin.com wallet supports, which was Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Matic, and then you hear Zano in that list. So that's quite unique, and for us, really cool. So maybe you can explain a little bit more why Bitcoin.com wallet decided to add Zano in this list of like major layer ones, because Zano isn't that big at all yet.
Okay, so I think to answer that, I guess there's two parts. So like, first of all, why would we want a privacy token in the app? So it's just in general, and then beyond that, why Zano specifically? So I'll start with why privacy token. And I mean, yeah, like privacy it's a core part of our mission. Like, we've always been a champion of peer-to-peer electronic cash, and like we think privacy is fundamental to that. So I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir with you guys here, but if powerful authorities, like specifically the state with its guns and its ability to lock you up, if they have full insight into your financial transactions, it becomes incredibly easy for them to control you. So like, for example, it becomes dangerous to donate to the wrong political party or purchase the wrong goods or fund the wrong ideas. And historically, as we know, like Bitcoin was used, people thought Bitcoin was private. It was used in that way to enable freedom, right? And going back all the way back to like WikiLeaks, right, which of course was partly funded by Bitcoin. And since then, there have been many other examples of like people using Bitcoin to enhance their human rights, like to do what they want with their money, right? But as we know, it's becoming increasingly apparent that like Bitcoin in its current form doesn't quite live up to that privacy promise. We saw a few years ago with the Canadian trucker protests, people were using Bitcoin to fund them, but then the authorities figured out who was behind those Bitcoin wallets, and many of them were punished. Many of the donators were punished by having their bank accounts frozen. And like these days, with the rise of like Chainalysis companies and other blockchain surveillance businesses, it's really difficult to remain anonymous using Bitcoin. Like, I think it's technically still possible, but it just takes one mistake and you're doxxed. So like we want to support privacy, right? It supports human freedom and human rights in general. But just one more thing, I think. Okay, why would we want to support privacy? It's also important for like enabling mass adoption of cryptocurrency, like as a medium of exchange. If it's not private, it would be a disaster to use it for. It is a disaster to use it for like medium of exchange for buying and selling things. For an individual, there's the obvious security risk. And, we all know about these like so-called $5 wrench attacks where people with large balances are targeted. But it's just private information. Like, we don't going around telling people how much money is in our bank account. And there's implications there with regards to like your status and how people treat you. But then of course, for businesses, like without privacy, you just can't operate a business in the financial realm. Like, if competitors can see who you're paying, your suppliers and your partners, how much you're paying, when you're paying, like, it's a gold mine of competitive intelligence, and businesses need to protect that. So if cryptocurrency is going to be used as a medium of exchange, actually used in the way that was envisioned from the very start, it needs privacy. Okay, so that's in general just why we need a privacy option in the Bitcoin.com wallet. And then as to why Zano specifically, I think there's a few reasons. So like, okay, first of all, it's just good tech, right? Like, okay, I'm a marketing guy, so I'm not going to pretend I really understand like under the hood of Zano, but from what I'm told is Zano started off as a Monero clone, and it's more than that, of course. But what I know is that like Monero is a best in class base level privacy, and so with Zano, you're starting from a very strong base. But there's other things beyond that like from Bitcoin.com's perspective that set it apart from other privacy coins. So first one is like, ever since the Zarkanum upgrade, you obviously like you support tokens built on the Zano network, and all of those tokens have the same properties of Zano itself. So like this is important for a few reasons. First of all, there's stablecoins. Like, if you can make private stablecoins, that's kind of the holy grail of the stablecoin space, I think. And if we can get like a US dollar stable asset, has full privacy, I think that can help to supercharge the P2P currency use case, the medium of exchange use case. So like I already spoke about why privacy is important there, but I think stability is also important if you're going to see real growth of crypto as a medium of exchange. I mean, one reason I don't spend my Bitcoin partly for the privacy, but also because I don't, I'm thinking it's a speculative asset. I don't want to use it, right? So that's part of the reason why like a stable coin would, I think, help with the adoption aspect, right, of cryptocurrency, the actually using it as a medium of exchange. And then another thing that I was quite intrigued about with Zano is the potential to make like the Bitcoin itself private, to actually transform Bitcoin. Right? Like, you wrap a Bitcoin, you put a wrapped version of Bitcoin on Zano, and I think that's something that would be great to offer Bitcoin.com users someday. So you'd have a wrapped version of Bitcoin that inherits all the same privacy of Zano, but you'd still be holding Bitcoin, so you'd still be like able to benefit from its speculative upside. So yeah, those are the main things. There was one other point, which is around the auditable wallets. So, like as I understand it, Zano offers these auditable wallets, which allow you to selectively disclose your transaction details to third parties. And I think this is important because I mean, there are situations where this is important, where you want to disclose for whether it's for regulation or audits. You want to be able to show some information, and then if you compare the way Zano's done it to some of the other privacy coins like Monero, I think with Monero, your options there is you basically giving away nothing or everything, whereas with Zano, you can be quite selective. And then with Zcash, as I understand it, the selective disclosure is possible, but it seems like there's been implementation challenges due to the way the technical constraints of like the design of the network itself. And then another one is Secret Network, but I feel like they are more focused on data privacy in computation, not really transactional privacy. So like all of these things combined, Zano seems like the best choice. You guys have learned from all the other privacy coins that have come before you, and you've put forth the design that like checks all the boxes, giving it the best chance to scale to the global level, which that's what we want to support, and that's where we want this thing to be heading.
Yeah, I mean, man, you were spot on, but you said so many things. So circling back one by one.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't let you.
Yeah, no worries.
No, go ahead.
It was great. But yeah, auditable wallet, it's not like you can selectively review things, but at least you have the option to create a special type of wallet in Zano that basically becomes auditable, right?
Okay, I see.
So then share that key with others and they can see your balance and your transaction history of that specific auditable wallet without being able to do any other actions like sending the tokens or coins in it. And this is used for specific situations where you would rather verify than trust, right? So we use it ourselves for the dev fund, for example, so that we have a way to prove how many coins we have left and how much we spend, what we spend them on, that kind of stuff. So it's just a very powerful tool for organizations. Like other people could use it as well. It could also be used for crowdfunding, for example. So yeah, that's definitely very interesting. And then circling back a little bit about what you said about why Bitcoin.com decided to integrate Zano was very refreshing to hear for me, because most of the wallets, but also exchanges and other, active companies in the crypto space, they only care about money and, things being as profitable as possible and, with as less risk as possible. But in your explanation, I can hear that you think about it from the human aspect, like from the human perspective, right? This is like powerful technology that can mean a lot to a lot of people in all kinds of countries where people are censored or that kind of stuff, or debanked even. So yeah, that's very cool to hear to me that you guys also think about this when considering to integrate a blockchain like Zano. So yeah, that's really cool. Do you guys want to say anything about this, Gonzalo or Pavel or Andre?
Well, I don't really have anything to add because this is the alignment we got with the Bitcoin.com team, and I expressed many times that this is the direction we are moving to.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's all good. Then let's continue to talk a bit about the confidential assets feature, which you also mentioned, Graham. Because now it's just Zano that is active and integrated into the Bitcoin.com wallet. But you also said specifically that you're very interested in the confidential assets feature that Zano has, which allows you to do, for example, private stablecoins or wrapping of other existing assets like Bitcoin and making them private by bridging them onto the Zano blockchain. So is this a feature that you guys plan to support? I mean, I already know that this is something you guys plan to support, but
definitely.
like when and how?
Yeah, exactly. So like we're really just getting started with Zano, and yeah, we're definitely going to be supporting tokens. I'm told it's going to be going live in early May. So, once that's enabled, you'll be able to hold, send, receive like any Zano based asset, just like you do with other tokens. And yeah, we're also in talks with a team that is building a stable coin on Zano, so a private stable coin, which, as I mentioned, I think will be a really big deal. And it's important that we have that in the wallet. So that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, that's very exciting. Like, this is probably the most exciting thing that many people have been waiting on. And yeah, it will probably drop like a bombshell here. Like, so
sorry, are you talking about Karma, or is it some other project?
Could you say that again?
Regarding the so regarding the stablecoin, are you talking about Karma or some other project, new project?
I actually don't know the details. All I know is we're in talks with a team that is building a stablecoin on Zano. Yeah,
it's not related to Karma, Gonzalo.
Okay, that sounds really exciting. Yeah,
so
definitely.
We have another team building a stablecoin on Zano. So yeah, that's really cool, right? Because the more approaches, the merrier.
All right.
Do you have some more details on this, Graham? Like, what is the collateral? Like, what is it backed by? It's supposed to be stable to like $1, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, not. I don't have any details. Sorry.
All right.
But so Bitcoin.com's approach, because there's two approaches you can take. You can, with confidential assets, you can either allow any confidential asset to be activated in your wallet, or you can work with like a whitelist feature where you, as the Bitcoin.com operators, have to whitelist an asset so that only that specific asset is available in your wallet. I think that is the approach that you guys are planning to take, right? So
I would say
want to whitelist.
Yeah. In general, we do tend to take a more conservative approach, just because of the nature of many of our users being newcomers. We just tend to make sure that they're not overwhelmed with I don't know, like I don't want to say
all kinds of shit coins.
Potential. Yeah, exactly. So we just want to make sure that it's manageable for our users who, again, tend to be kind of a little bit new to the space.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. So then let's see, you said early May, you plan to have this, or at least that's the plan now. Then you plan to whitelist this private stablecoin and also the assets released by Confidential Layer, because that's the project that utilizes Zano to bridging of Bitcoin and Ethereum and that kind of stuff to the Zano blockchain. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I would love to see a wrapped version of Bitcoin, a private version of Bitcoin in the Bitcoin.com wallet. I think that would be really cool for people to have. And also, like, from the perspective of like the business of Bitcoin.com, I think that could be a very differentiating feature to have, especially like for a company like Bitcoin.com to be like, look, we have this private Bitcoin. I think that could be really a really good thing.
Yeah, and once again, it makes Bitcoin.com totally different from all the other. Yeah, I think I can even say maybe a little bit boring wallets that try to avoid privacy or things that are a bit more risky. Because this sets you apart also as a wallet. Like, hey, if you can support private version of Bitcoin, you're probably the only major wallet that can do that. So yeah, it gives you an edge.
Exactly. And I mean, there's a lot of disadvantages of being self-custodial, but I would say this type of thing is the big advantage of being self-custodial, because you're not as like a centralized custodial product, right? You're very beholden to the regulators in your region. But it's a different game, and the self-custodial game is a different one. So there's more room to enable things that the centralized exchanges can't touch.
Yeah, for sure. And what I like about Bitcoin.com is that you also work together with swap partners like Exolix, which is one of our main swap partners for Zano, so that you can directly, when you, I don't know, buy, because I know that you can do this because I tried it, you can buy Bitcoin or Ethereum or Bitcoin Cash with your bank account, with your debit card, and then directly convert it to or swap it, to Zano. So although you can't buy Zano directly, you can kind of buy it indirectly, just with a simple extra step in between, which isn't very hard at all. So it probably gets it's the most convenient way to buy Zano right now. Just install the Bitcoin.com wallet, buy some Bitcoin Cash, swap it to Zano, boom, there you have it.
Yeah, and I think we would love to be able to actually like give away some Zano as well to our users as a way to onboard more people to Zano. So like we have a reward center in the app, and it's I would describe it as a retention tool. So you got people coming in, and we make it really easy for them to get their first crypto, right? We have Bitcoin.com has our own loyalty token, Verse token. And when you come into the app, if you like read a few news stories, if you get a streak of checking the price every day, a few others quests we have set up, if you learn certain things about how it all works, right, you can earn free tokens at our loyalty token Verse. And I'd love to be able to integrate Zano into that as well at some point, and I think that could be really exciting as well.
Yeah, totally. I mean, we chatted about this before, and we'd be happy to put up some funds for this great initiative, like kind of like a learn and earn type of thing, where they have to complete some quests and get some free Zano in return. Would also be very cool if maybe at some point Bitcoin.com wallet decides to support Zano aliases, so that when they register an alias, maybe we can give them I don't know, some reward for it, or when they read certain web link, we can give them a reward for it, or watch a video. I don't know, just those type of things come to mind right now.
Yeah, we just need to make sure as we design this campaign, we need to make sure that it's not gameable, because what we've found with our current reward center, there's scammers, right, and they're looking for ways to game the system. So we don't want that to happen, especially with Zano.
Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, people try to do that all the time with everywhere in crypto, sadly. But I mean, we don't have to make the rewards like major. Like they can be small rewards, and
Yep.
yeah, I mean, something else that comes to mind is this private NFT thing that we just talked about. Like, hey, why not, if you acquired some Zano, or I don't know, did some kind of action in the Bitcoin.com wallet, then you get rewarded with like exclusive NFT on private NFT on Zano, and it can be rare, it can be common, it can be this is not really gameable.
Yeah, that could be cool too.
Who knows, man? Like, there's so many cool things that you can do with the technologies that Zano has, and then also with the versatile features that the Bitcoin.com wallet has. So I mean, it's like the integration of Zano is like a huge start, right? But yeah, like you said, I'm super excited about confidential assets in the Bitcoin.com wallet, private stablecoin, shielded versions of existing assets like Bitcoin, and who knows what else. So yeah, very exciting, man.
Yeah,
is there anything else that you would like to add here?
I think we covered it all.
Pretty much, right?
Yeah. Covered it all, yeah.
That's cool. Pavel, Gonzalo, Andre, you guys good? Just making sure.
I think, yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. I think you got off. Well, I would just say, I think NFTs will be the best thing to do for the rewards, because oftentimes they just have like non-monetary value, so they're not that people are not really that incentivized to gain them. So yeah, we can do fun stuff with them.
Yep.
Yeah, the way people like the most of the like anti-gamify protection comes from like connecting it to your social platform like X. But then again, that is like kind of like a privacy issue, right? Because then you're connecting your X profile to your wallet to kind of verify yourself, which isn't ideal either. But hey, maybe Pavel has some ideas on this. I don't know, maybe with Zano Companion and stuff. But just not important for now.
I'd say that.
Yeah, we're not gonna. I'm sorry, we're not gonna work it out on a space here, but maybe we can talk privately.
Yeah, exactly. I would say that the Bitcoin.com wallet app team has had a lot of learnings in the last few months. So we're getting to a place where the scammers are losing. So we can apply those learnings to the Zano thing when we do it.
That sounds good.
Great. Okay. Well, Graham, thank you so much for hopping on our space, making time for us to come have a chat with us here and talk about the integration. Very exciting stuff that you shared, especially about upcoming confidential assets integration in your wallet, and also of course the new private stablecoin that you mentioned here. So yeah, thank you, man.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right. Have a great day, man.
Okay. See you guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Cheers.
Cool. Okay. So one more thing before we wrap up here is I just want to mention, because this is probably the last spaces, or at least now I'm able to give everyone a heads up on this. Next month, in less than a month actually, 9 to 11th May, there is this event in Amsterdam called ETHDam, and Zano team will be present. At least a substantial part of the team will have a booth there, so you can come have a chat with us. We will be there giving away some free Zano to also people that install a Zano mobile wallet for the first time. You can also just come there and fake it, of course. We'll give you a free Zano. But yeah, like there will be so many interesting things going on there. Like many Zano community members will be there, Zano team members, the booth. Aaron Day will speak about CBDCs and Zano. There's a politician there, Jerry Baudet. He will also speak about Zano probably. So if you are in Europe and you want to meet us, come to the event, come say hi. It would be a pleasure to meet you there. And you will also be able to learn a lot about not only Zano, but about privacy in general, because although the name suggests differently, ETHDam is about privacy. It's a privacy-focused event. So yeah, just wanted to get that out there so that people have like a heads up that if they have time to go and they want to go, that they can. So yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you everyone for making time to be on the spaces with us. It was a very fun one. Learned some. I learned some new stuff here, so that's great. And then we'll see you guys on the next one.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you later.
Cheers.
Cheers.